Hello Berk. So we meet again, after coming off of a victory in which my starting quarterback scored just 3 points, and I still won the game. I'm feeling on top of the world. Nothing can stop me, except becoming blind. That would provide challenges. I'm not sure I'm ready for not being able to see where I was walking, or see the look on your face when you realize you're going to lose this week would be depressing.
I'm Berk. I'm witty and long-winded.
The quarterback battle is in the air. It is unclear whether or not Aaron Rodgers will be able to take the field after sustaining a concussion last week. If he does, he should be able to carve out the Patriots secondary that is near last in the league. You are starting Peyton Manning against the Jaguars. This does not bode well for me. Even if Rodgers plays at full strength, Manning will most likely outscore him.
Witty and long-winded.
What the hell are you talking about? I think you have the edge with the QB. Running backs should be interesting. Darren McFadden ruined the dreams of a large ginger last week, and should be able to destroy the lowly Broncos defense this week in both the passing and running game. I also may be starting Ronnie Brown for the first time in forever, since he is battling the terrible Bills. Both of your guys are facing off in the same game. Your other Peyton hasn't had a dominating game in the last few weeks, but did put up over 100 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals earlier in the year. In that same game, Cedric Benson scored just 6 points. I would bet he would have a better output this week. I still think due to matchups I have the advantage in this category.
I have wit.
You're starting to really bother me. It appears that Wisconsin has taken you over. onto the next grouping. Bolden was incredibly disappointing against the lowly Texans last week, and I'm hoping he'll be able to bounce back against the Saints this week. Rowdy Roddy White will extinct the Seahawks this weekend, and Mike Williams will drink his way into the end zone against the Lions. Do you have anything to say about your receivers?
I am long-winded.
Deion Branch should do decently against the Packers. Holmes has a tough matchup against the Steelers, and Steve Johnson hasn't had a double-digit outing in his last 3 weeks. I think I have the edge here, since your guys have much tougher opponents. Without giving you a chance to respond, let's move on to our tight ends. I'm starting Jacob. To me, you started Vernon Davis last night and he only had 4 yards.
I think that Vernon Davis will gain 60 yards and a touchdown this week against the Chargers. He is the most productive weapon the Niners have since the injury to Frank Gore, and has scored in double digits the last 2 weeks. He has 6 touchdowns on the season and should surely score another this week. If I was a betting man, I would guess his fantasy football scoring output would be at least 19 points this week. He leads his team in targets and seems to produce regardless of who, either Alex Smith or Troy Smith, is throwing him the ball. I just realized that both Niners quarterbacks have the last name Smith. According to the United States Census Bureau, Smith is the most popular name in America, with over 2 million people sharing said surname. Also in the top 5 are Johnson, Williams, Brown and Jones. I was actually surprised that Davis isn't in the top 5, but it does fall into the 6th slot, with 1.1 million people having that last name. Former Wolves guard Ricky Davis had a last name Davis. It kind of sounds like Richard Dreyfuss too. I like him in Mr. Holland's Opus and as the narrator in Stand By Me. I wasn't as big of a fan of the movie Stakeout with Emilio Estevez and Rosie O'Donnell. It's weird that Estevez doesn't have the same last name as his brother and father Charlie and Martin Sheen. Charlie Sheen has some serious legal issues. Why can't he stay away from cocaine and hookers? Everyone likes hookers, but maybe you should stay out of prison. Regardless, I like Davis over Tammy in this category.
God, I hate you. I'm going to beat you this week.